Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Ascended Spiritual Warrior. Today's near-death experience comes from Anelia, who can recall falling from a playground when she was only 1 year old. This is one of the best documented and detailed reports that occurred so early in a person's life. If this is your first time on our channel, welcome. I appreciate you being here. These videos are meant to build faith in a world that seems to be faithless and to prove that there is life on the other side. If you enjoy these videos, then please click the like, subscribe and bell icon so you'll get notified of any new out-of-body experience and near-death experience stories we upload. And for our return viewers, you know what to do. Grab a beverage, sit back, relax and enjoy today's story. I was 1 year old and fell from the metal climbing structure at the playground. All my life, I have regarded this very unique experience as my very first memory. It is my oldest memory, and yet it is very vivid. I don't remember the events leading to my experience, but I remember the experience very vividly. I was not unconscious, but I would rather describe it as being superconscious. It felt as if I perceived it through a mature consciousness, mind awareness, rather than toddler brain. I don't remember how I felt, but I remember I felt absolutely no pain, nor did I feel the impact with the ground. It is hard to explain, but it felt as if I levitated upwards, but somehow knew my body was on the ground. Up above me, I saw this beautiful, warm, gentle, yet bright white light. The light had depth to it, as it was the brightest in the center, but there was also a spectrum of very beautiful and gentle colors. It was somewhat similar to the sun, but our eyes see the sun as a white, flat circle that is painful to look at. This light did not look flat, nor did it hurt my eyes to look at all. At that moment, it felt as if time had stopped or just didn't exist. I felt that the light was protecting me, and nothing could ever reach me or harm me in its presence. I felt super calm and loved. It wasn't like the love between humans, which involves various different emotions. This love was unconditional and serene. I was levitating towards the light. At the same time, I had knowledge that I was dead. I did not have a word for the concept of death. I had the strong perception that my life had ended and I was returning to where I originated from. I saw my life on earth as a split second and a tiny fraction of what I was supposed to live. I thought to myself the equivalent of, was that it? No, this cannot be it. At that moment, I had a clear understanding of who I was on a fundamental level. I'm not talking about earthly attributes like gender, race, or ethnicity. I'm talking about the spirit of me, for lack of a better term. I wasn't human form, nor did I have any age. I just was. For the sake of explaining this experience, I'm writing everything in linear order. However, all of this happened simultaneously. It is hard to explain. I saw a preview of the life I was meant to live. It all made sense, but I don't remember the details. I had a choice to either go towards the light and enter right through it, but I would not have been able to return. As pleasant as this place was, I wanted to continue my earthly life. I was supposed to become someone and was aware that I hadn't even started this yet. As per my wishes, I returned. Then the light started to fade and I saw two men walk towards the jungle gym. I initially saw them from the perspective of an observer on the side. A moment later, I was looking at them from the perspective of my body, which was on the ground. The one man was my father, and the other was a family friend. Oddly enough, I could tell that they weren't too worried, but they felt a bit guilty. Although a toddler, I could understand just how young they both were. They seemed like just boys to me, although they were in their late 20s and early 30s. I was conscious when my father picked me up, but after all that, all my memories had faded. I do not remember anything after that until I was a bit older. The experience felt as if I awoke for a short moment from toddler consciousness, but then fell asleep back into toddler consciousness again. Later on, when I was about 3 years old, I started experiencing dreams. The dreams were a unique experience for me. All of a sudden, I remembered the moment I saw the light as a memory of its own category. It was neither a dream nor a waking moment memory. It was as a real and even more real than real. I didn't know what to do with the memory, but knew that somehow I would ask about it when the time was right. As I was growing up, I didn't think much about death, but I have always known about it, despite the fact that people assume children are not aware of this reality. For many years, I didn't know what the experience meant. I could not understand why I had such a clear understanding at that age, but had early toddler memories from the following years. This became increasingly confusing to me, and as time passed, I developed this belief that I must have been reincarnated. If I had been an older child who died and was reincarnated, that would have explained the chronological issue. I had started to doubt that maybe I got the part about the men confused, and maybe that was my father from another life. I was determined that one day I would figure out who fell and if a child indeed died after falling at the playground. I am now 34 years old. Only last year I had decided to ask my mother if she remembers the event. I described it and named the people who I thought were there. She confirmed the event and said that I had fallen and hit my head. On Earth, this would have amounted to seconds, yet I felt as if I was out for an unmeasurable amount of time. What I witnessed and experienced does not match in duration to the duration of me falling and being picked up. I received the confirmation that it was me who fell and that I wasn't reincarnated. I don't talk about the experience much because I find that people just don't get it or they get frightened by it. They hold on to their limited materialistic view and try to explain my experience as an optical illusion. To that extent, I understand them because they can't possibly imagine it. I know it is not an optical illusion. I am, however, very willing to share it with people who are open-minded enough to listen. In closing, I will leave you with some changes in my life since the experience. I started drawing when I was at about that age. I don't know if it was before or after the experience. All I know is that I have been drawing since I can remember. I used to do better in art than the other kids. I was absolutely terrified of sports and of climbing ladders and catching balls. I did not associate my fears with the experience, but always felt inferior to other children who didn't have any fears of sports. The only thing I was good at was swimming. I was very quiet and did not like to play with large groups of children as I couldn't understand why they had to make so much noise. I had an issue with saying a basic hello to people. It seemed stupid and embarrassing to me when I was a child. I did not understand the point of that verbal ritual. As a child, I used to ask my parents difficult philosophical questions such as what is nothing and ask them if they can imagine it. I used to ask them if they felt the way I did, meaning I can control my body, but I don't feel it. It is as if I don't have it. I had this strange belief that everyone is born twice. First when they are born, and then a confirmation birth at the age of 4. As a child, I could stick utensils to my hand like a magnet. I am highly intuitive and have a strong connection with nature, so without having studied about plants, I can figure out what they need even when the plants are very difficult to grow. My dreams are exceptionally vivid, and if I had any musical skills, I could have recorded the original music I hear in my dreams. From time to time, I have strange incidents of instant knowledge that something is about to take place. For example, when my younger brother was in primary school and I was in high school, I had that bothersome feeling that something happened to him and he was sent to the sick room and my parents were called. It bothered me the entire day. When I returned from school, my brother had indeed been picked up from school early because another kid had thrown a stone and hit my brother's head. I have had out-of-body experiences that start with vibrations not of physical origin. They feel like energy flowing from the end of my limbs and being collected in my skull. There, they are amplified and the out-of-body experience follows. I don't like those, to be honest, but when that happens, usually I am shown something in a dream. Just to be clear, I have never taken recreational drugs, never been drunk, never smoked, and I hardly ever take medications. Medications usually have a severe adverse effect on me. I consider myself very blessed, and I've had some very interesting things happen to me.